The next stage is going to be deloads. This becomes more important when people, especially when they're doing strength training, but deloads can be a great way of allowing the body to recover, recompensate and grow. And the analogy I'll think of is coffee. So if you start drinking coffee, kind of like when you're working out, you'll start getting a buzz, you'll start having a stimulus, you'll have a reaction to it. Your body will start getting used to it. Eventually, to still get that initial buzz or to feel more alert, that initial amount of coffee doesn't really do much for you anymore. So you have to start drinking more, either stronger coffees or more often. Similar with our training, we have to increase the stimulus before our body becomes sort of homeostasis with it, and it needs more to be able to trigger an adaptation to then respond. The problem is if you keep training for a long period of time, you'll get to a point where your body can't progress anymore and it becomes desensitized to training. So similar to coffee, sometimes you keep drinking it and you're drinking a lot of coffee and it doesn't really have much of an effect for you. So what you end up doing, what people recommend is come off coffee for a week or two. So then your body can re-sensitize to that caffeine. And then after a week or two, or even a month off, I'm not saying rest a month from your training, but the analogy is you come off it and then when you have one coffee, suddenly it hits you again and you're back to where you were. This is where deloads are kind of similar to idea where you kind of come back off, it allows your body to recompensate, to grow, to recover fully, not just your muscles, but your CNS system, your connective tissue and your joints. And then when you go back to a training, it feels like it's a brand new response. The one mistake that people do when they do deloads, let's say you started off with bodyweight pull-ups and you've got yourself up to 15 kilo weighted pull-ups and you're not progressing anymore. So you do a deload. The thing that people tend to do is they come back and go straight back to 15 kilos. That's not what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to scale back, but make sure that you scale back, but it's still an improvement from what your original base level is. So if you were used to doing 15 kilo and you started at bodyweight, take your deload, come back and maybe start at 5 kilo weighted pull-ups. It's still more than where you were. And if you can make the same progression in a couple months, 3 months, 6 months of a 15 kilo increase, then you start at 5 and now you end up at 20. And 5 kilos doesn't sound like a lot, but if you were able to make that difference in 3 to 6 months consistently for a couple of years, it's not going to take long where you're pulling out 30, 40, 50 kilo weighted pull-ups, which is an extremely impressive feat of strength. It might sound small, but it really adds up. So adding in deloads can be really important, but just make sure that you use them well.